This is Chuck Oliver. Welcome this week's Hidden Wealth Solution Review. Do you want to learn how to secure your retirement from taxes? Well, let me teach you how. But here's the problem. We have the Biden tax bulging budget proposal that is taxing corporations higher in the middle of a recession, proposed, taxing small business owners that make the world go around in this economy. And what is happening, as I talk about Hidden Wealth Radio this weekend, what the Fed is doing is killing the consumer. In fact, the U.S. consumer is in fact at a breaking point, according to Stansberry's Market report. And I think it hit the nail right on the head, folks. When you think about what's happening, you've got the working generation, those 27 to 58, that are now saying that this is the worst working generation economic conditions in history. Well, what does that mean? Well, when you start taxing companies more and they're laying off more, and you've got the working generation feeling the worst economy in history, then think about what's happening. Fewer people are paying into the tax rolls. Less money is being contributed to Social Security and Medicare. And this is exactly why Biden has now proposed raising the Medicare tax beyond a maximum, increasing it to 5% from 3.8% at certain income levels, doing away, actually looking to double the capital gain tax rate, nearly double, 20 to 39.6%, eliminating the ability to do tax-deferred sales like 1031 exchanges over a certain threshold, and basically taxing corporations from 21 to 28% in the middle of a recession. And look at what this has done. And this article says, with the consumer increasingly relying on credit card debt, listen to this, is at a record $931 billion. That's up nearly 19% in 1 year. Now, listen to this. It's taking consumer finances to a breaking point. And it says, with the Fed being hell-bent on killing inflation for over a year now, right? We've seen rates go straight up now. It's hard to believe it's been a year. It has sacrificed the consumer's financial well-being and killed the consumer. And folks, when you kill the consumer, you kill the economy. And the fact that this president can't figure that out and his administration is clueless. Think about what it's already done. It ruined 3 banks last week. It's now threatened European banks. So with all this rising interest rate, now think about it. Inflation reports came out this last week that still, for you and I, the consumer, which we know it's way more than this, but their watered down number version is 6%. Well, they're hell-bent on getting the inflation rate down to 2%. How are we going to lower it 3 times more? Well, the top economists are telling you that's not even remotely possible. And it's not about going into a recession. It's about going into a deep recession. Well, what can you do? Well, take advantage of tax rates being on sale. Learn strategies I'll teach this Tuesday at retirementprotected.com. That's retirementprotected.com. Just like Bonnie learned, Laura learned, David learned how to get rid of these inherited IRA required distributions. I think of John and Nancy learning how to do that. Now money is coming in and forcing people to pay more taxes. And it was all based on the government realizing that the more you and I sock away in these tax-deferred accounts, they come back to haunt us in pushing us to pay higher taxes. On top of proposing $4.7 trillion of new taxes in this new fiscal budget that comes out this fall. And folks, the consumer is already hurting. Interest rates are at all-time highs. People are financing on their credit card food and rent. Banks are failing. The reality is here, folks, the time to protect ourselves, especially from taxes and securing taxes from our retirement savings and preventing corrections and crashes to our hard-earned retirement money is now. Go to retirementprotected.com, that's retirementprotected.com, and learn what you can do to remove yourself from this Biden bulging tax budget and remove yourself from this cratering economy by how the consumer is getting killed by an administration that can't see the forest through the trees. I'll give you this. A couple things that clients are doing right now. Not only learning how to is Motley Fool, I talk about on the radio this weekend, came out with this article about tax-free income, learn how to get yours. Well, okay, of course. Now everybody's tooting the horn to say, don't save your money in regular IRAs and 401ks, put it in Roth. Folks, I want to teach you Roth alternatives that blow the doors off of the security of doing traditional Roth, don't limit you and don't have all the government red tape. And on top of that, I want to teach you how do you untax the money you've already worked so hard to save so that you don't create a bigger tax burden to yourself or end up leaving a tax burden to your family, like many of these families, like many of you likely, are starting to experience themselves. Learn what you can do to remove yourself and stop letting Joe be generous with your money, folks. retirementprotected.com, retirementprotected.com.